And I think that we should maybe make our apologies in advance, just in case any children do come flying in the doors behind us. Emma and I are both working from home today and homeschooling, which I'm sure a lot of you will be doing as well. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, that's one word for it.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy, isn't it? Crazy, crazy times. So I'll just give you a little brief overview of myself, because you're going to get to talk to Emma in a second. My name's Natalie. Emma and I have been working together for about 4 years now. I've been with the company Forever Living for just almost 7 years now, and my background is that I am a yoga teacher. So I was working very much full-time when I started my Forever business around my 3 kids. My youngest daughter was only 2 at the time. When I first initially started, I thought to myself, if I could earn an extra couple of £100 per month alongside my yoga classes, it would just have been absolutely perfect. However, I got involved, I listened to the trainings, and I decided, just to throw myself in, and it's now my full-time job, I guess, if you can call it that. So I get to work with some amazing people. So I'm so excited to do this interview with you, Em.
Thank you.
We both posted on our social media about this yesterday, and we've got 5 questions that have been sent in. I might keep them in order, Emma, or I might just throw them at you. I'm not quite sure. But they're all actually really good questions, and a lot of the questions I asked myself when I was getting started 7 years ago as well. So the first question that came in was, do you really have time to do this business or side hustle or whatever you want to call it around a full-time job and children? Is there really time?
Okay, yeah, so great question. And like you were saying there, Nat, one of the questions that I asked myself, because obviously from the little blurb that we've put up, we've shared with everyone that I've got quite an intensive full-time job. So I work in the NHS as a nurse practitioner, and I'm the kind of person that I didn't really want to get into something unless I was actually able to make it work and to give it something to try and make it work. So it was a question that I thought long and hard about myself. And the answer, I would say now, having been in that position and having experienced it over the last 4 years, is absolutely, you can make it work. It's about finding those little pockets of time. It's about finding just 5 minutes here and there. It's not a laborious hours upon hours of sitting working away. It's just about grabbing those little moments of time when you can. And actually, for me, what it's allowed me to do is reduce my hours at work. So I'm no longer full time anymore, which means the difference in those hours I can now contribute towards my business. So that was a huge movement forward for me, because it meant that I was at home more, but it also meant that I had a bit more flexible time and the ability to be able to work on my business a bit more. So it's certainly something that can be done. You have to be a little bit disciplined, I would be honest and say. But to be honest, I'm not a huge TV watcher anyway. I'm not, scrolling through social media and things like that. Those were easy sacrifices to make. So it is very much something that you can fit around your existing commitments.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. And definitely worth it as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
Because
with,
otherwise I wouldn't have been able to drop those hours and I would still be full time in my current post.
right now, and amongst the madness as well, gosh.
I
The
know.
next question that came in was my one and only question, actually, that I was really worried about when I started, which was, is there anybody going to be pressurizing me to do anything, or are there any targets within your business?
Yeah, and again, another question that was on my mind, because I thought, my thought process at the time was, if I don't have the time to put in it, does that mean that I'm potentially letting someone else down, letting myself down, then, not going to have a business anymore, that kind of idea. But I was really, really reassured to hear initially, but also then to find out for myself that there are no targets whatsoever, which is fantastic. There's never been, in the 4 years that I've been in this, there's never been anyone on my back that's been saying to me, why have you not done this month? Why have you not done that? It really is your own business to put what you want into it. And that's the beauty of it. Depending on what you put into it, that relates to what you then get back out of it. There is a recommendation that we get, which is there to kind of give you a bit of guidance so that you know that you've got a strong and sustainable business. But at no point is there any expectation whatsoever. And like I say, no one is ever on your back to try and, make sure that you're doing more or ask why you're not doing what you're doing.
Totally. It's quite unique, actually, I think, in the sales world, because that is what some people, target us, kind of say that we are as a sales company because we have a product. I think it is very unique that we aren't targeted or kind of, pushed along a little bit. So
Absolutely.
I love that. Yeah, I think it's really, really important. There is enough pressure in life, I would say. We don't need any more.
And I think that then gives you more of an enjoyment factor of it, because there isn't someone breathing down your neck. You know that you are literally your own boss.
Yeah.
And as I say, what you put into it is what you get back out of it.
Yeah, totally. Definitely. This question's quite, I've never really had this question before, actually, but someone's asked you it, saying that they're not a hugely confident, outgoing person. Would their confidence be an issue, do you think, with running a business with us?
Absolutely not, unless they allow it to be, I guess, is the thing. But certainly from my own point of view, yeah, great. I'm confident in my job that I've done for the last 20 years. But I think it's like everything that you do. When I think back to the job that I'm doing just now, and 20 years ago, I wasn't at all confident in that. When I came into this, I had no experience whatsoever of this kind of profession and no experience whatsoever of recommending products. But with the support that you get, with the amazing team vibes, it's off the scale, really, the support that you actually get. And with the great training that you get, then that helps to build your confidence. So I think it's just, about being realistic. Anything that we do initially, naturally, we're not very confident with it. But when you feel that you're in such a supported environment, and when you get that training and that support from the wider team, then it allows you to grow your confidence. And when I look at myself 4 years ago coming into the business, and I look at myself now, the difference.
That's exactly what I was going to say there. I'm thinking Emma's completely different to what you were, genuinely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've always had to be a little bit of someone who speaks to people, because I come across different people every day in my role. But it's still something that was really nerve-wracking. But definitely the way that my confidence and my personality as well has grown over the last 4 years is just off the charts, to be honest. So I think it's natural to be nervous about something, but from my point of view, I always say now, take those nerves and run with it, because nerves can only be a good thing, really, in getting you to a better place.
True. I mean, if you were to look at it even in terms of people that are looking for jobs after lockdown, a lot of people are having to reapply for their jobs or look for new jobs. You're going to be nervous doing any one of those, even if it is simple as working in a bar, for example. You're going to walk behind the bar for the first time and not know where anything is or what to do. And then 6 months down the line, you'll be pouring drinks and making cocktails like there's no tomorrow. So yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. Definitely makes sense.
It's just keeping the perspective on it, isn't it? And not allowing your own thoughts and worries to run away with you, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So next question was, it comes across that you do love your job. We all know, those of us that are friends with you, we know that you love your job and it's something that you're hugely passionate about, which is amazing. We need people in the world like you. But why is it that you were looking for a side hustle then? What is it? Which actually, I don't think I've even asked you that myself. I don't think we've actually spoke about that before.
Yeah, it's not really something that you kind of tend to think about when you're having these chats. I guess for me, I kind of just, I found forever, if you like, or forever found me, if you want to look at it in a slightly different way. So I used the products initially, and naturally, a lot of people then started saying to me, "What have you done? How are you looking so good?" And it then kind of just sort of went from there, that I started talking about the products. I was then passing them over to someone else that was then obviously going to support them and be the person that would help them with their product choice, etc. And it got me thinking, well, actually, do you know what? We all could use a little bit of extra money. And it, it was like a hobby. It actually, genuinely was like a hobby, where I just thought, this is something that I can class as a bit of downtime, to be honest, because I've already mentioned I don't really have downtime watching the telly or doing any of these other kind of things. But because I get so much enjoyment out of it, then it genuinely did feel like a hobby, without a doubt. I think something that I've never really thought about, and probably quite naively, but I've never really planned for the future. And I think when you're in a job like the NHS, you kind of always think you've got that stability, you've got that security, but you never know what's around the corner. And for those of you that have seen the little picture of Nat and I that was taken probably just about this time last year,
What?
which is crazy,
Mm.
you'll obviously notice that there's a big difference in me, because in it I've got extremely long hair and have got very short cropped hairstyle at the moment. And that's just because life threw me a curveball, and without kind of planning for the future, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And it really kind of made me stop in my track and think, do I want this just to be a hobby? Do I want to continue at the crazy pace that I'm in the NHS at the moment? I don't really have anything set aside for the future if something big was to happen. So I guess essentially where I'm going with this track is that I've gone from it being a hobby initially for the last 4 years to it now being something that I want to take much, much further. And I guess that's the beauty of the business, is that you can pick and choose, what elements of it you want to do at what point. You can pick and choose what your income is going to be. We're then there to obviously support people to then take that through. But I guess what started as a hobby is now something that I really would like to take on and be in your position and be as a full-time income, because I think we just don't know what's around the corner, and it certainly has opened my eyes to a lot of different aspects of my life.
Definitely. It's great that we're not pigeonholed. You can move from 4 years of enjoying and retailing, having a great, I mean, your retail income on its own was hundreds and hundreds of pounds. That would almost be a full-time income for a lot of people. But I
Yeah,
love that we're not pigeonholed and you can change it up at any time. But just for people who don't know you, and you have lost a considerable amount of weight since you started from using our products as well, haven't you? I wanted to just clear that up a wee bit, because that's why people were saying you look different, because
yeah.
you really do. It's easy
Yeah,
when you're using a product, I guess it's easy to recommend, to tell people about it, you know?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You're feeling great and looking great.
Yeah.
Last question.
Hey?
Why forever? Over all of the other companies that you could have joined, because there's so many different companies out there, there's lots and lots popping up all the time.
Yeah.
Why is it someone's asked, why forever?
Which is a great question. And I guess I've already answered it ever so slightly with that last question, in terms of I had the products recommended to me. I then became a user of the products. And as you say, Nat, I lost 3 stone as a result of using our products, but more so sustained that weight loss and kept myself in a really healthy place. For me, when I looked into Forever, it was about the ethics and the morals of the company. I absolutely adore everything that the company stands for and stands by. I think because they're a family run business, you really get that family vibe and feel from them. Obviously, I've never met our, our kind of high up team, if you like, but you feel like you are really special and important to them, which is something, you know, being valued is something that we all want when we're in a workplace environment, if you can call it a workplace environment. So first and foremost for me, the ethics and the morals of the company themselves really were something that drew me in, and made me feel appreciated. The NHS is a great job, but you don't get any appreciation, you don't get any recognition for anything. So there was that aspect of it, but then there was also the aspect of the products themselves. I mean, the products themselves, as a nurse practitioner, I wouldn't recommend products that I don't use myself, that are not of the highest quality, and that I wouldn't give to my family. So the fact that I've got that peace of mind with the products that we have being the best quality products, being the best for my own health, but also that of my family and friends, then to me it was kind of a no-brainer, really. There are lots of other companies out there, but again, it was the fact that Forever had been around for so long, despite the fact that I'd never really heard of them. You know, we're 42 years old this year. So I think that gives you that bit of peace of mind as well, that that small investment that you're making into your future is actually going to be something that is going to provide a future for you, and in a couple of years' time isn't just going to be a flash in the pan.
True. Amazing. Well, thank you so much. It's been insightful for me because, you know, as much as we're friends, we're very different people. I never looked into anything actually when I joined Forever. I just said yes because someone said that I could earn extra money. So it's lovely to hear that people do look into the, you know, the ethics and the family business. I only landed on my feet with that. You know, I got involved on a whim. And then it was only once I looked into it that I thought, oh my God, I've totally, you know, struck gold with this. So it's great to know that people look into that first because it's really important. Now I know it is extremely important, you know. So thank you so much to you, Emma.
Thank you to you too. That was good fun. Like that.
Definitely grown. We would never have done this 4 years ago in a million years.
Not at all.
We would never know how to work Zoom. We still don't know, but thank you so much to everyone who has listened in. Thank you to those of you who sent questions. I will pop this recording into the Facebook group now, and if anyone does have any questions, of course, fire them over. All right, have a lovely day, everyone. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.